Ole, my YouTube frijoles. How are you all doing? That came off really creepy. I'm sorry. So, because my sister absolutely begged me to do this, I am going to do another challenge. Well, technically it's not a challenge. She just asked me to do this. So, she had this cool project that you had to ask about like 3 million questions about your family members. She kept asking me about all my first times of doing something, and she asked me to turn it into a video. And I thought it was a good idea. Now I don't think it is. I'm still going to do it. So, here I go. I have no idea why I'm being creepy. Right. First time. First kiss. I'm 12. That does not happen when you're 12 and your school is full of snot dirt boys. First word. My first word was Dida. My mom said when I was little that when my dad traveled a lot and he came home, I would run to the door and say, Dida, 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 which was daddy in 3-year-old, 2-year-old language. First injury. My first injury was when I was like a couple months old. This is scary, and not traumatizing at all. I have not been traumatized by what I'm going to tell you next. Woo-wee-oo. So when I was about like a couple months old, my grandparents lived next door and we were over there. And it was kind of like a family reunion, and my cousin was carrying me around, and all of a sudden, somebody decides to throw a baseball bat at the giant beehive in the backyard. If you can guess what happened next, it's not a good thing. My cousin dropped me in the flower patch as everybody runned inside where all the bees were just flying everywhere. I was stung more than 20 times. And then my mom's in the house freaking out like, where is my baby? Oh my god, where is she? Then my cousin says to my freaking out, spazzing mom, I left her outside of the flower patch. And then she dives outside in the flower patch, getting stung multiple times and saving me. And they're freaking out because they don't know if I'm allergic to bees yet, so they drive me to the hospital. But I'm completely fine. I was like, la 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 la, woo-ha. So they drove me home. And people wonder why I'm not scared of bees. I have no idea why. I'm just not traumatized by it. I am the Iron Bumblebee. Doo. I have no idea where that came from. First crush. So, according to my parents, my first crush was on Elmo. I highly doubt that, but they said I would not go to sleep unless I was listening to Elmo. Elmo's World. I think my real first crush was on some guy named Alex that moved away or something. I mean, he was tall, he was athletic, every girl looked forward to. I watched too much Disney Channel or something. I have no idea. I wasn't even allowed to watch Hannah Montana when I was little. Evil parents. First memory. The first memory that goes back to when I was about 5 in my kindergarten class is when we were watching some weird dentist video about some kids in a tooth fairy land or something. And the teacher all gave us gum if we promised to brush our teeth. And I got in trouble because we were going to the library and we were supposed to spit our gum out when I didn't because I was a rebellious kindergartner. And we went to the library and the librarian was reading a story to us and I was playing with my gum because I'm 5 and 5-year-olds are disgusting. When the librarian caught me and she made me spit it out, she told my teacher, Miss Payne, who was very, it's explained in the name, she was very she was kind of mean. Kinda. Just a lot. And she comes up to me before recess and says, why did you not spit out your gum before you went to the library, Jillian? I wasn't finished. I don't care what you have to say. You're sitting on the wall. Which was a kindergartner's worst nightmare because you had to sit on the wall until you were done with your time and then you got to play recess. Worst elementary punishment ever. Yeah, that's about my first memory. It was weird. First embarrassing moment. Alright, I'm about to share a deep dark secret with you people because I thought this would be funny, and it's not one of the most embarrassing things I've ever done. When I was about in first grade, my mom was part of the PTA, so I went to meetings all the time with my mom, and we were playing hide and go seek with a couple of the other parents' kids, and I decided to hide in a teacher's classroom. And I know this is weird, or maybe some other people have it, but does anybody else, all of a sudden when somebody says, hey, let's play hide and go seek, they automatically have to go pee? That happens to me, like, every time. So I'm holding in my pee, and I'm hiding behind the desk in a teacher's classroom, and the kid who's trying to find me takes forever, and all of a sudden, my little first-year bladder decides to say, never mind, I'm deciding to pee. So I wet my pants on the carpet beside my first grade teacher's desk. I was mortified. I was like, oh crap, I can't clean this up. Then they'll know I peed my pants. But then I'm gonna leave a wet spot on the carpet. Before I could do anything, the janitor said, you have to stop hiding in here. So we stopped and I went back. Nobody noticed I peed my pants. But the next day, the teacher went like, when she was sitting at her desk, and I looked up and I saw her when I was doing like some math thing, and she called down the janitor and she said, it smells like somebody or a animal peed over here. And I just minded my own business and put my head down. First album. The first album that I ever bought was Smoke and Mirrors by Imagine Dragons. I listened to that album for 2 weeks straight, nothing else. Whenever the teacher said, all right, you can listen to your music while you work, that was some weird Scottish-Irish accent, I would pull out my phone and just play that album the whole class. I literally begged my dad to buy that album, and then he did, and I literally put on my knees and grabbed his legs and said, thank you! Yeah. It gets old after a while, but still, Imagine Dragons is one of my favorite bands. First time using the internet. So, the first time I remember using the internet when I was about 6, and we had this huge blocky computer. I mean, it was like from the 80s or something. I don't know when computers were made. And my parents had set up all these folders full of games to do, and it was like painting games. I was an artistic kid, so that's all I wanted to do. And maze games and all this stuff. But I decided to search out my own website. Because what can I say? I'm a hardcore 6-year-old. And I searched up poop. Because I'm 6. And that's what 6-year-olds do. And I pull it up. And it's this website all about poo. Which I thought, because I'm being 6, was absolutely fascinating. And for the rest of that day, I started reciting poop info. That's right. Poop info. What can I say? I was a 6-year-old who loved poop. First friend. This goes out to you, Sid Boo. I'm sorry, that was embarrassing, Sydney. So, when I was about 5, I started riding the bus, and this little peppy, blonde-haired, 5-year-old girl comes up to me, derp, and sits next to me and says, hi, what's your name? I'm Sydney. And I say, my name's Jillian. And she goes, let's be friends. And she sits down next to me, the origin story of our friendship. And then she introduced me to my friend Michaela Bay. Then she introduced me to Elizabeth. And then Lizzie, who I will not speak of. She's the main girl, and the list grew. So I hope that was fun getting to know me and my deep dark secrets. Hope you had fun. Subscribe and like this video, and next time my friend Elizabeth will be in the video. Subscribe and screen dance, and screen dance. This is a bad editing, but it's the end screen dance. Subscribe. Goodbye.